Zero worries.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, I can imagine. I can't imagine. That sounds awful. I don't want to go near it.
Yeah, I'm good. Hmm.
So, do we want to do a quick recap?
Please,
of what
Lord.
happened last time on Legends of the Wulin?
Oh, I know what's happening now because I fucking you guys defeat. It was basically just 2 fights last game. I fought Hooded Cobra and kicked the shit out of them. You guys fought.
Oh, wait, isn't he your disciple now?
We'll find out.
I think it admires your sword work or something like that.
And you guys,
Not a technical disciple, but that's what we call the
follower of the
that's what we
sword
call
or
the
something like
condition
that.
Right.
You guys fought the salamander
Look, I
guys.
came to take the sword away, but Jesus Christ!
You guys fought the salamander people. One of them got away. The summer salamander, whatever his name is, you captured, but then was like, "Yo, fast boy, if you let me go, I will show you someone who is almost as fast as you, and you can
God damn
race
it.
each other."
Right.
And then you're like, maybe I'll do that, and then it cut off.
Run, Barry, run!
Oh, and the Blue Orchid, the House of the Blue Orchid, just put us in charge of a new, second location closer to, the Nobles District.
God, we got a sitcom, guys.
Yeah, we're just a sitcom now. We got, our New York apartment that we're somehow able to afford. Yeah. And I guess I've been appointed head courtesan of it. I'm kind of running the show for that one. And yeah. I think we also discovered the salamanders and their faction. Oh, I need to get Trello open. The Fire Doctrine. They seem to be acting on behalf of a people group that, at least according to them, has faced some injustice from.
Is downtrodden, and they're the workers and being shit on by nobility or some shit.
Yeah, or they're just on the outskirts, geographically or something like that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, they're basically considered, because they are not sort of the people. They're foreigners. They've been outcasts in a lot of places, and that's most of what makes up the Fire Doctrine. Not entirely, but they've definitely pulled from the disenfranchised.
Whiny proletariats, am I right, fellow bourgeoisie?
God.
Man, looking at it though, both of you are semi-rich, important people.
Oh,
I'm just some
semi-important. Yeah, basically, it's very funny.
Do you even know who my father is? I'm like,
God.
if you were to find out,
Literally
who
the
God was,
most
you would
important person in China.
Well, there's the legitimate side.
Yeah, there's the actual current emperor, not the one who just fucking pieced out randomly.
Yeah, but if something happens there,
I don't like the way you said that.
oh, I can't imagine anything would happen to the young emperor who's currently.
A question: is he younger than me or older than me?
Not quite taken over. Younger.
Oh God.
He has not officially
Totally
taken.
not gonna meet his doom, guys.
He's fucking dead. He's not gonna last.
Did I tell you what happened in the last Legends of the Wulin?
No.
So they were headed that direction, and as they're looking through, they decided to get oh, the Empress Dowager looks kind of cool. Let's buy her into it. And then they found out that the young emperor wants to kind of have been a member of the Wulin, but his father wouldn't let him. So what they decided to do, because there was plots of brewing, their idea was, well, if we replace him with someone who looks like him, and then kidnap the Emperor. We can take him with us on Wulin adventures, and after they've quote-unquote killed him, we can build up stuff to bring him back. And I was like, that's a stupid idea, and I am very excited to see it happen. And that was about the time that like some schedules started to break down. So they actually got him, got out, and then our schedules had to break. We just have not been able to, we were, it basically at that point, we were
Unfortunate.
together.
All right.
Okay, so, I know for Lone Sparrow, you had discussed talking to... Here, let me do something real quick to help with just hearing y'all. The speakers usually work, but right now we've got you guys in a... There's several differences of volume. This should work better. There we go. Yeah, Lone Sparrow, I know that you had talked to some of the Falling Leaves Society about coming in the next day while they had Summer Salamander?
Yeah, just basically, like, I gotta know what he knows and also be there to advise that we let him go in order to track back their masters.
Okay. So,
I'm totally the fastest guy available for that.
There can't be anyone faster than me. Wait, someone faster? So, are you going by yourself while they're setting up the new house? So is it just you, or is it everybody?
Are you talking to me?
What's a Lone Sparrow?
Oh, to go see the people?
Yeah, the Falling Leaves Society has captured Summer Salamander.
Did they say they wanted to meet, or was it just Lone Sparrow being like, yo?
I think they wanted us all to... They extended the off... They talked to me and Lone Sparrow, and I think you were extended an invitation.
Okay.
Yeah, because the three of you have had the specific encounters with members of the Fire Doctrine, so you'll have at least a bit of an idea of what's going on.
Cool.
A bit more than they do. So yeah, one of the things they've done is ask you to stop by the next day.
Yeah, then I'm going.
Let's go.
Okay, so you end up at... I don't know what the hell's the name of the place. Was it Mirror Lake Manor, or am I thinking... Jade Ink Manor. Oh, shit. Let me open this up quick. So, this town, the Falling Leaves Society, is pretty much the head... Make a note. Jade Ink Manor. Is pretty much the major... major faction here in town. There are some other ones. I mean, Resplendent Phoenix Society is also fairly large here, but this is the headquarters specifically of the Falling Leaves Society. So they have a number of, like, I don't know what you, not safe houses, but they've got a number of, like, chapter houses sort of throughout the city. They also have their main one, Jade Ink Manor itself. So the house it's one of those where it actually does open up so that pretty much anyone is welcome to study Kung Fu or the classics in there, but there are sections of it that are specifically disallowed to most people if you're not a member of the Falling Leaves Society. As you enter Jade Ink Manor, you're kind of let them know Master Flawless is expecting you. You do see several people that have like the same blue flame pin that you saw on Mournful Ghost. You do see, you'd say probably about a quarter of the people, of the members of it that you pass, you see this pin that is being worn fairly outright. So like you'd perhaps heard about it. I would say in particular, my guess is Lone Sparrow would probably have the most reason to know a little bit more of the workings, being part of the Eagle Talons.
More than likely.
Yeah, you know it was kept under wraps until more recently, but as things have changed in Shenzhou, they've kind of worn it more openly, and that faction is gaining a bit of ground, some stuff that they did not have before. So you're shown through a number of chambers up into a large study. You open up, and the library itself that you've gone into is quite large, very opulent. There's a large table on one end, and you see Master Flawless, who's got quite a bit of just inner power around him as you're sort of watching. Looking through a scroll, and as you come in, he looks up. Welcome, please be seated. Tea, wine?
Tea, if you will, please.
Absolutely tea.
Follow their example.
Damn it, I was really hoping you get wine.
I can't be drunk. I'm probably bodyguarding something soon.
I'd like drunk stuff, please. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you also get yourself some tea. He kind of nods to someone who goes out, and then a little bit later comes in with some tea.
I don't know what a Russia is, but this vodka stuff is great.
So, I understand we have you to thank for saving a number of our people, as well as stopping an attack on one of our chapter houses in the city. You have our gratitude.
I bow my head.
Do you know anything about why the fire doctrine's here? Or who else might be in town?
I think I, turned to Lone Sparrow, I think you got this one, buddy.
I mean, there's not really much to say. They know that the town is going to be a powder keg. If there's anything they can do to ignite two pillars to go at each other, then, well, a weaker Wulin means a stronger fire doctrine.
They seem to be discontent with their lot in our society, and I do not blame them for that, from what it sounds like, but they seem to just want to stir things up so that they can take advantage of the rubble that remains.
Well, such is the way of their people.
I'm doing my very best not to give him a look, capital L.
You're a rich boy who was raised in a pleasure.
Yeah, also my highest bad virtue is independence, or individualism. So I'm like, I kind of stand these oppressed peoples a little bit. Well, if there's any other information we can provide to try and prevent a war with the resplendent Phoenix Society, we will be happy to avert any such widespread destruction.
He has, you can kind of see, a set to his jaw that says he's maybe not as happy about this as you think perhaps he should be. And he goes, I don't think we're going to come to blows with resplendent Phoenix Society. Things have been tense between us, but with saboteurs coming in and trying to cause more problems, it gives us reason not to. Plus, there are softer hearts than mine here within the Falling Leaves Society. It would be best if we controlled this city and we alone. So far, we're aware of Winter and Summer Salamander. Winter Salamander escaped. Was that the same person who set fire to the chapter house last week? And that would be the one when you arrived in town.
No. That was Red Eagle.
His eyes get a little wide on that one.
Do you know him?
I'm aware of him. You're in the Wulin long enough, you hear all sorts of names and about a number of different people. He's a fairly powerful warrior. If he's here, it's going to be more than just to stir up some trouble. If he's here, there's a much more official reason for their being here.
I'd very much
Stirring
like
up-
to find out what that is.
So would we. We've been trying to question Summer Salamander, but it's not been working. He has wonderful things to say about us. not understanding the problems of civilized people.
Perhaps we should try talking to him. We have faced him in battle on more than one occasion now. Well, almost more than one
Can't
occasion.
hear anything.
Oh no.
Testing.
You
Hello?
got us?
Testing.
Orin.
Orin.
Orin, can
Snake.
you hear me?
Bum bum bum.
Back?
Orin?
Orin?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, we have done battle with him before and are a little bit more acquainted with him. Perhaps you would be more comfortable talking to us.
Said that strange friendships have bred over the battlefield. This might be the best. And those are the three of you. He's been beaten fairly badly from the fight yesterday. He won't be a danger, particularly with three of you in there. Come. I'll show him where we're keeping him. And
Cool.
Hmm?
I just said cool.
Okay. Takes the three of you down a hall, up some stairs, and you come to a guarded section of the hallway where there are usually two guards on sort of either end, and he takes you to a room that opens up, and the room itself is actually not. I mean, this is the kind of place a nice inn, like a pretty fine inn, might have. Like it's got like a bed that's there. There is like a pitcher of water and such there. The window itself has been barred, but it looks like a place where they keep, well, perhaps the occasions that they have prisoners, that they keep prisoners here. So he wasn't thrown into like a dungeon, which was maybe what you were expecting.
I was expecting a place not made out of wood.
I was literally about to say, is it?
No, I would say the parts here. There's a lot of stone.
Okay.
There's a lot of stone here in the area. The manor itself is sort of a mixture. You've got some parts of it that look like they're part of an old fort, and then you've got the manor built around it. And that's me off my ass, because now I forgot. Oh yeah, he does create flame.
It happens.
Yep. So
Yeah, okay. It's a really nice stone room.
yeah.
Is there anything between us and him, or are we just in the room?
As you sort of come in, he stands. There's a table in one part of the room, and beyond that, it's just the room itself. And at that point, Master Flawless shuts the door, leaving the four of you alone.
Are they treating you okay?
As he looks around the room, he goes, "I've been captured before. I've never been given a bed, so that's in their favor."
More than I would have expected from them.
They see themselves as noble. This is often a pain in the ass, but occasionally, well, works out for the best.
I give him like a genuine smile.
So, and he's moving a little slow from the beating he took. He's like, "I'm assuming you're not back for a rematch?"
Not until you rested up.
He smiles. He goes, "In fact, I believe the fight you're interested in is somewhere else."
There's going to be big fights all over this city. And you're, well, hopefully, and if you knew what was good for you in the long run, you're going to point us in the right direction.
And which direction would that be?
To whoever's telling you where to go.
Kind of looks over the three of you. He's like, "You are not falling leaves.
No.
You're also clearly not Resplendent Phoenix Society."
What gave it away?
Sparrow looks at the giant eagle talon, like, insignia in the, like, the metal part of his arm.
Yeah. I mean, that he caught, but the other two also don't appear to be Eagle Talon. It was... What is your... Why do you care what happens here? You don't seem like Our kind don't stay in one place very long.
I don't want to see my home city go up in flames.
Smiles just. You can't have rebirth. You can't have the new forest without the flames to feed the soil.
Those are just pretty words, not actual reality. That is a sad view. I'm sorry that is the one you hold, but I disagree vehemently. But I do sympathize with your struggles. Do not misunderstand me.
Well, it's good that you understand my struggles, that you sympathize with those who've been beneath you all your life.
From what I've heard, the Empire has long and slowly enacted injustice. A minor law here and there.
Minor laws. Minor laws would be nice. We're on the outskirts of this world. We have no reason to want to see any of this continue. We have no reason to see the current Emperor do well. If we burn down what's here, if we burn down the framework that's keeping some people lifted above the rest, well then, we all stand head height then, don't we?
If your problems with the Emperor, attack the Emperor, not innocent bystanders.
Can't build on ash. All that does is poison the land. You move somewhere else and erect new structures. You burn it all down, well, nothing's going to grow back.
Metaphors aren't always exact.
Well then, take mine as a new metaphor.
If you don't burn it down, if this entire structure, this entire society is allowed to stand as it is, what will take people like me and give us the chance? I mean, we have taken destiny by the horns. We are fighters, and we have an ability that most don't, because we have sacrificed more than they have. But the regular people, my parents, maybe your parents, how often do they get crushed underneath the heels of the magistrates?
Just because I have lived an extremely comfortable life doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and let you start a war in this city. If you want to change things, I will be eager to listen to how we can create that change without harming the people who don't have the power to make these sorts of decisions about your people.
There are some people you might be able to talk to. However, I certainly can't go to them right now, and they're not going to come to me while I'm being held here. And as a matter of fact, I have a friend, he looks at Lone Sparrow, who I think you would be very interested in meeting. She values speed almost as much as you seem to. You're the only one I've seen nearly as quick as she is.
You can't tempt me with a good time.
Good times are the best things to tempt you with. It's much better to be tempted by a good time, because soon we're all ash. So live life while you can. As a matter of fact, if I could get some wine in here instead of this water, that would be wonderful.
I find it odd. At least, your idea. Because you and I, or at least traditionally, we have a similar base. The Talon is all about grabbing life. You start from nothing and you claw your way up. The more power, the more proof, the more worth you have. And you take what you can. However, we're not going around burning down buildings.
Aren't you? How often have the Eagle's Talons guarded people who are awful, despicable, who brought death to many people? I mean, don't get me wrong, we tend to respect the Eagle Talons because, unlike, well, he kind of gestures to the place around him, your people don't think they're above the world itself. You're a part of it. That we like. And frankly, we don't want to see the Resplendent Phoenix or the Falling Leaves Society getting there, because they are better than the rest of us. And if they also take over the Eagle's Talons, well then, not a whole lot left for the rest of us.
No. The Talon will be fine by itself.
Wasn't Gallant Eagle going to allow anyone who proved themselves? They don't have to even come from within the Eagle Talons, or was what I heard incorrect?
No, that's correct. Anybody can try their hand.
So what happens if a member of the Falling Leaves... What happens if Master Flawless or one of his people, one of the ones above him, prove themselves strong enough? Do you think the Eagle Talons are going to remain who they've been?
They'll remain until someone overthrows them, as is our way.
You have too much trust in a system that doesn't care about you.
The system is all that's ever cared about me.
Then I feel sorry for you.
Can't you say the same? Who were you before the flame took you in? Before you were a spark they pointed at a powder keg?
We were poor. We were outcasts. The doctrine is more than just a structure in a society. It's a people. It's a family who were thrown together because the rest of society spit us out. And he's looking at the three of you and he's like, something about you all tells me that this here, sort of points around, he goes, this is not a place you would feel comfortable living. These are not a people that you want to be part of.
I certainly do not agree with all of the Falling Leaves tenets. There's a reason I'm not in their society. Or any society.
Well, those are steps in the right direction.
Does your brother feel the same way?
My brother realizes that we, as a group, the Fire Doctrine, have kept ourselves safe. We've tried to provide for our people. We're trying to fight back.
If your people could have three things, what would they be?
If your people were stranded on a deserted island, they could only bring three things.
Well, like, I want to cheat and say, like, a television series, but, like, I'm just going to say the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
God.
Goes, we would like to have equality among the entirety of Shenzhou. We want to see our people have the same opportunities as those around. We have those who were born in luxury and haven't known what it's like to work and toil. We want to throw them from their peaks down into the mud so they understand what they have taken from us all of our lives. And we like an end to the death and destruction and the devastation of our people.
I give him a nod and like, I'll talk to some people. But you need to understand that the more stunts you pull, the more houses you light on fire, the more people outside that you pull in, the harder it will be to create a change that leaves something to be left for anyone.
Oh, it was going to be much easier to do all that before the three of you caught us.
No, I don't think I agree with you.
Any attacks happen on either side now, they have a place to put the blame. So, it doesn't help us to do anything about it. If we're lucky, perhaps they'll use the cover of what we've done to put attacks that seem like they're from us. But I believe we're all of the opinion that this attack has not worked. So there's no reason for us to sabotage anything else here now. I don't think they're going to care when you tell them that.
You're not my prisoner, Summer Salamander. I told you what I could do to help you. I don't know.
Because at the basics, we have no more reason to try to sabotage. We've been caught.
Lone Sparrow, you defeated him. In my eyes, you have the right to set him free or not.
I'm not sure.
He stays
that's any of our
here.
Decisions.
Yes. He's not our prisoner, but he stays here. For now, I would very much like if you would introduce me to the individual you were speaking of, and of others of that caliber.
Well, there's a problem, as you might guess. How
And
exactly am I supposed to introduce you to someone from inside here? I can't exactly send a letter and ask them, please come to the heart of the Falling Leaves Society in Magnificent Inc. Give them my room number? Have them just show up? What do you think the Falling Leaves Society would do with one of the higher members of the Fire Doctrine?
what do you think a higher member of the Fire Doctrine would do if you just pointed a couple of, well, hired hands at them? What are the names? We can't trust that your information is, well, not just pointing us into a place we can't get back from. It'd be simple. Point us at someone who would, well, take our lives and reduce us to ash.
What I can't do is send you someplace right now, give you a place to go where you could take all of the members of the Falling Leaves Society, or who might try to follow you, to where my people are at. My people are a family. In certain cases, it's a literal fact.
You're familiar with how the Talon works, right? Correct?
Yes. Am I able to hire you?
I'll run messages. That's all I've got time for right now. We'll put it on pay on delivery, I suppose. But you do not have enough coin in the world for me to break down that wall.
And he sort of looks at the other two, and goes, "I don't have a coin on me, but I'm sure I have." And he gives the equivalent of about $5 in today's money. I'm sure I've got a couple coins if that would let you break down the wall. A few nice shiny bubbles. Okay.
Pulls lint out of pocket.
I just give him a look. Like, come on.
I can't tell you where they are, but I will say this. Go to the eastern wall, along the outside. In someplace on the rock, someplace that's not easily visible by people who are wandering through, leave a message for my brother to come and talk to you. Tell him that Salamander thinks you have a bit of the fire in you. Find a neutral spot, and he might be able to introduce you.
It's a date.
So I suppose, and he grabs up a little bit of water, and his hand bursts into flames, and he sort of like gently holds the cup as he's bringing the the water to a boil. He's pulling out some tea with the other hand. Suppose it is.
And why the hell would they give you raw tea leaves?
That's all I need. He kind of smiles as the you can kind of hear the water bubbling. He goes, "It actually makes fairly decent tea. At least what I'm used to from back home. A little rougher than the softer stuff you're used to."
I think at this point I'm probably just leaving the room.
Just
Like,
the other
alright.
needed.
Don't rot in there too long.
Okay.
Yeah, what
Do
are
all
they
three
gonna
of you
what are
take
they gonna
off, or-
do to him?
You'd have to ask, really. Master Flawless would be the one probably to talk to.
What do they do to prisoners? We should find out. We're just gonna straight up.
Prisoners like him, probably. I would not expect execution, but they might do whatever they need to do to get the information they want. And I'll have a word with Master Flawless. Well, I do not like him. I do not want to see him tortured. Someone has to be the first one to extend an open palm here.
Honestly, I think you're getting suckered in.
Please, I'm not about to join the fire doctrine, but you have to be a fool to not see that they have at least a spark of a noble cause.
What about you getting suckered in? Do you have 0% interest in meeting this fast lady?
Every member of the Wulin has an interest in finding their next opponent. That has nothing to say of their philosophy. But I'm not willing to allow a dangerous prisoner's freedom in exchange for a fight. Though,
You what? Oh, good.
perhaps we can use that to our advantage.
How do you figure?
A tail. You let him free and we see where he goes. He won't tell us where they're at, but he'd
We
go
should.
right back.
We should bring this up with Master Flawless. It's worth a shot.
Seems to be.
Alright. Let's go talk to Master Flawless.
Okay. Yeah, he's outside in the hallway when you leave. Sort of turns and comes up to you. Well, did you get anything from him?
Nothing concrete. There's a possible drop point lead we can follow up on, but... And, well, he confirms the existence of at least greater bases of people who are higher up in the orders.
Any names? Or where they might be located?
The only one we know is that Winter Salamander is still here. He was willing to introduce us to certain members in exchange for his freedom, but we both know that's lunacy.
I'm sure they'd have you roasting on a spit before long.
I doubt that would do much. Might I suggest a gentler hand?
He just kind of, his eye cocks up a little bit.
We know that he's weakened, we know that he's bruised, we know that we can't get the same kind of speed that he would. We know that there are at least two teams, one here and one somewhere else. He's no good to the team here anymore. So, the only place he would go, if released, is back to the nest. I suggest we let him go. We stick a tail on him and we follow him all the way back. He's too slow now to properly outrun us. Or at least me.
He goes, you?
He's one of the fastest Wulin I've seen.
Eyes sort of narrow a bit.
Plus, if
Three of you are-
if I'm caught, then it's just a Talon on an errand, instead of a member of two volatile forces that they're against.
You're a Talon on an errand who just questioned him.
That's if he catches me.
Sort of smiles. He goes, I've seen in my day many. Your rank. Rank 3, or 4 rather. Young, starting out, who believes they're quick. And who believes they have the power of the gods within them.
Fortunately, I know no such boast.
But you said you're not fast enough to outrun you. We have people here who could do just as fine a job. So why would we bring you into this? Instead of one of our own?
Because they're looking for a resplendent tale. Plus, it could be as simple as you've hired a Talon to escort him out of the city. Out of the three of us, maybe, I believe that my hands are cleanest of this conflict. I am impartial, as it were, or at least to him.
I would prefer not to get blood on my robes before my next appointment.
So we're looking. Why don't we have you make a roll to see what might help? If you wanted to do something possibly to impress him first, and then put it towards him, it could let you do something and also put something in his river and possibly lower the difficulty. Because yeah, one of the things right now is just convincing him. Because you're asking a lot.
Yeah.
And he is.
I think if I have any particular tricks.
I was like, your speed could be a thing.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's anything I've got buried in some of my actual resplendent or my actual Nine Suns techniques are hilarious. What they're supposed to do. I just need to get the actual Wulin book open.
While you're looking at that, I'm going to just refill my water real quick.
Cool.
Yep, same.
So excited to finally play up this 5 individualism. I'm so ready.
Say,
All this-
listen
all-
here, you stick in the mud, buddy.
All the situations so far have been just pairing so hard to my benevolent side, and I'm just ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to be a bad boy.
I want to be an asshole.
I guess not an asshole, but they are called selfish virtues, I suppose.
The one that I can think of that might work right now, or at least to impress him wise, is due to the combination of being a member of the Eagles Talon and the amount of speed I have. He has to have something like plus 50 on his speed to actually stop me from doing something.
Damn.
My waves are next to unbreakable. He might be able to do it because he is, the end Wulin goal master, but
He's actually 1 rank above you.
well, then he's probably host. This is
Yeah, he's not rank 1 or anything. He's rank 3.
okay.
Because Master Flawless is not the head of the entire Falling Leaves, or just
No,
this.
He's in charge of he's basically been put in charge of taking care of this prisoner and stuff. Yeah, he's not the one in charge of the Falling Leaves.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
He's decently high up, and he is not one of their great masters, but he's high level 3.
Sure.
I guess the thing is either just an impression show of speed right now, or maybe tell him to pick someone that he would have picked for this mission.
and I will just outdo them.
Okay. Yeah, do you ask him that?
Yeah, pretty much. This is one of the rarest opportunities in the world. A Talon offering themselves free.
He goes,
What would it take? I'll outrun your best man.
you see, he turns to someone nearby and goes, "Get mournful ghost."
Yes.
He's who I would have been sending.
That's not out loud,
Something
but
like this.
Yes, flirt time.
And a moment later, a little bit later, like mournful ghost comes up and he sort of looks. Eyes linger a little bit on Plum Blossom,
Bless.
and then over at Lone Sparrow, and he goes, "Ah, hello."
hello.
And Master Flawless looks, goes, "You know, Lone Sparrow?" He goes, "Yes, I kicked him through a window." Master Flawless smiles. He goes, "Lone Sparrow, I believe you had a challenge you wish to set forth?"
Yes. Your master here, we were discussing the abilities of speed as pertains to a particular mission. And I had offered my services, but he believes you to be the superior choice. Now, honestly, I cannot speak for either of our abilities in full, but it's my own personal pride that, well, won't let me see this through without at least a little bit of a challenge.
He turns, he goes, "I have an idea," and looks at one of the guards. He goes, we've got a bow and arrow." He goes, "Not your bow." And he heads sort of out. There's a, like the part of the old fort that that is sort of surrounded by the manor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a courtyard, and you basically you come out at the corner of like the northeast corner of the courtyard, and across there is there's a tree on the far end, like one that actually, like, a pretty good amount of shade, but is essentially right up against the other side. And he turns and goes, "I want you to fire 3 arrows at that tree." And he turns to you, and he goes, gives us a tiebreaker if one of us doesn't catch all 3 of them.
So less about foot speed and more about reaction, then.
Bit of both, because we'll start here and we've got to get there.
Ah, very interesting. You purchase Kung Fu with Destiny, right?
Yes.
How much does rank 4 Kung Fu cost?
What do you mean?
Like a rank 4 technique.
It costs the rank, right?
Yeah, or for inner, you're talking like an inner.
Yeah, an internal Kung Fu.
Yeah, I believe. Let me look, because it's on. I think I put it under.
Yeah, internal costs the rank of the internal technique.
Yep.
So an internal rank 4, like for your 9 sons, would cost 4.
Okay, can I grab both of my rank 4s?
You can only get 1 per rank.
Unfortunately, I can because I'm part of the
Unless
Talon.
you can-
Oh my god!
Yeah, most societies grant a thing where you can actually, where you're actually
Yeah.
You can
able
master
to get
the
all of.
favored. You can master the favored internal school.
Right, I forgot about that. Fuck.
It's one of the reasons why when you meet someone from one of the societies, you're pretty sure what their internal martial art is. They also usually have 1 or 2 external martial arts that are very common, and they've got some special stuff with. So,
Yeah.
like a lot of the Eagle Talons will have like the same couple martial arts.
Yeah.
So you really want that supreme burst of speed, huh?
Yeah, I want that, and Crow Eclipses the Sun.
Which one's Curl Eclipses the Sun?
That's the one that gives a plus 20 to dodge, and I can boost the technique after an attack has been resolved before ripples.
Okay.
So basically, I can dodge things after they happen.
So I will say this: it'll be a because it's sort of up in the air. It'll be a moderate. You'll need a moderate action, which is a 20 during your your initiative, and then that's to move into the next one. And then while you're in there, the one that you roll on the action will say a moderate gets 1 arrow, a hard gets 2, so it's a 20, 30, and then a memorable 40 gets all 3.
Cool. Yeah. Then all I really need right now is Supreme Burst of Speed.
Okay. So yeah,
Are we measuring speed both times, or is footwork involved?
Speed is, so I call it, speed's your initiative. Yeah, speed's the initiative, and footwork is usually the wave. So footwork would be the wave on this. It would make some sense with what we're doing to actually make speed what we use for the wave in the, well, I guess finesse would be what you use. Though what you can do is use your internal martial art to boost the wave.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna.
Part of your big thing is just going before him, which is a speed thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Supreme Burst of Speed because it's been on my list anyway, and I just needed to know how to do this.
Did you see what I just rolled?
What did you just roll?
Are you fucking?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
Oh,
Well.
as they're like stretching and getting ready to run, I also like yell out, whoever wins gets a complimentary dance at the grand opening of our new house.
I don't give a shit, I'm working. I'm also
You'll get a break from your shift, Lone Sparrow.
Do you know what? If we're spending Destiny, I don't need it for right now, but I want this because I want to be able to use the flavor of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend the other 5 I've got. I'll go down to 0 Destiny.
God, what are you getting?
I'm getting the last thing in the 9 Sun Brothers.
Reincarnating 9 brothers?
This technique makes your speed so ferocious that you appear to have 9 copies of yourself joining you in the fight.
God.
It makes my sword hands even more effective. But we're not. I just want to be able to do the shadow clones, like speed clones.
God.
That's for later.
You are entirely Killua now. Like, you've become Killua.
Yeah, that's the idea. Now I just need to find the lightning. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
seriously.
roll.
So for him, he'll have a total of a 32 initiative, and he can basically use that 19 plus a 5, so a 24 to move into the next, to basically move into the air up above it.
Oh, I can just cross all those zones at once.
I mean, yeah, just the one zone on this one.
No,
I've
I've got-
fire the arrows.
Yeah, but I've got Flight of the Golden Crow.
Mm-hmm.
I can move as many zones as I want.
Yeah. So his, what was that, 34
Fucker.
initiative, and
I need to pull up the
45.
Wulin sheet so I can math my numbers.
Yeah, for this one, I just checked on what your speed is, what your footwork is. Plus, you got some of the extra stuff.
Yeah, but I've got to plug in all these new fancy numbers now. Okay, let's see. There's 24, and at least for the initiative.
Or you could use a 24 for the wave to move, and then you could put a single die down for the initiative.
True, because I think I've got enough speed that just kind of.
Because you'd have a 19 if you put the 9 in. Plus, what's your speed?
Right
Speed
now.
bonus is like 25 or something.
Yeah, I've got a plus 20 for speed for right now, plus an additional 5 on footwork. So that gives me a flat 30.
Remember, the
30,
footwork isn't
50.
footwork isn't for initiative.
Yeah, but footwork is for movement.
Yeah, so for the other one, so you'd have like.
Yeah. I could get I can get like a 30 in initiative if I don't put a. No, wait. That's if I use a 10. If I put a 19, I can get a 39. No, wait. Because it's just 20 to speed. My natural speed bonus is 15. So, a 35.
You could
plus.
put a 2. You could put a 2 in and be faster than him.
I can put a 2 in and be faster than him, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would add 12 to it. So you go first, and if you put the 4s in the river, and then even put the 9 into moving into the next one, that's a 19 plus your footwork. So that'll get you the wave to go into the space above the courtyard.
Yep.
And it lets you put the 4s in the river if you want. So you're gonna go a whole lot faster than him. So you get to make your action roll, and this will be finesse is what you add to it. You're hoping for, if you get above a 40, you get all 3 of them. 30 is 2, 20 is 1.
I sure don't have any points in finesse.
The other thing you can do is basically, you can improvise a marvel with a +5 per chi you spend by using internal techniques. So you could be like, this thing would make sense on here. We spend this amount, and then you get a bonus there.
Could I improvise a version of reincarnating 9 brothers?
Yeah, that's the one where you look like you're a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, that's the one that looks like there's 10 of me.
So that's a what level?
That's a level 5.
So if you spend 5 chi, you will get a +25 to your roll.
I can do that. And yeah. Okay, just gotta find the chi current. I can just spend 5 out of that. That puts me.
It's not like you're gonna have to. I mean, you'll get that back pretty quickly, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So we'll spend the 25. We'll get the 25 bonus on that, plus an additional 5 bonus from Supreme Burst of Speed, which gives a finesse bonus for some reason for the entire round. Roll, computer, roll. My connection to the server has been interrupted.
Oh no. Yep, you're gone.
Yep. Oh no. Oh, they killed you.
No, I did roll. It did manage to put those numbers out there.
They've not showed up yet for us.
Yeah, we haven't seen them.
Is this a first roll or a second roll?
The second roll.
Yeah, the second roll is not showing.
Try to reload the page. I'm connected on my phone because that last robot's you, and that's why. Nope, that's dead. So, I know there weren't any pairs on there. Can we just use the 4s we shoved in the river?
Yeah.
That's a 24 plus 25 plus 5.
54?
Yeah, you're able to just...
54, and then I've got like 5 finesse naturally.
It's like 60?
Yeah, like 60 or something like that.
So that actually puts you at the level above. Do you want to do something a little extra flashy after you catch all 3 of them?
I imagine instead of not only do I catch all 3 of them, but instead of like jumping, it's like he slowly starts vibrating until there are the 10 of them, and then the 10 of them like start look like they're using each other as boosters to get up into the air until all 10 of them are up there, just kind of calmly waiting to intercept the arrows between them, as they all kind of throw the arrows back towards the original, who gets them up and then throws all 3 of them like face down, like heads into the dirt right at the feet of the leader.
Okay. And there's that moment where then, Mournful Ghost heads in like after, you're actually sending them back.
Yeah.
As he kind of enters that space, and as he sort of lands in the dirt with nothing, and he just looks and goes, "How did I kick you through a window? You seemed a lot more sluggish last week."
I can't say you're lucky. You just simply bested me at that point.
Well, and it sort of sits there and turns. And like, as quick as you were, he looks up, and then Master Flawless goes, "You mentioned something about working for free." And do we want to do a cut from there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so are you going to be the only one following him?
Ideally,
they could be setting some stuff up in the blue orchid.
Would it require sneak?
because you can still follow up on that winter salamander contact.
Yeah, and Lexa, you said something, but it was really low.
Would it require the sneaking skill? I'm guessing yes, right?
Well, here's the thing, like,
He wouldn't actually
according to the mission document, yes.
according to what's actually going to happen.
No.
Like, they already cut a deal, so...
Okay.
I mean, I'm not aware that you've cut a deal. I'm like, yeah, you're fast, like, I vouched for your speed because I believed in it, and you can handle it. And if you're, and like, if you're okay with us going to the Winter Salamander meet without you, then we'll do that, because I have an interest in talking with him, seeing if I can try to make more progress with him than with his brother.
Yes, go. I don't know what to call it, but yes.
Talk?
What you do isn't talking. It looks like talking, but then everybody blushes like an idiot.
Except you,
The best
for
kind of
now.
talking.
You truly are my fiercest opponent.
Pale Orchid mumbles about never whispering anything. No, never bluffing about anything.
I'm sorry, Bill Orchid. It's just it's way more fun to tease him.
Who's the uptight guy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Who's uptight?
Oh my god.
Also, I can't edit this damn document, apparently.
Is it probably your connection stuff?
No, I think I'm just stuck in view edit mode, or view only mode.
For which document?
The Legend of the Wulin combat sheet.
Oh, here, I'll put the thing in there again.
Like the pinned version.
Whoa, why am I not seeing all of the... Oh, there we go.
Anyway. But, yes, I'm sure...
The edit, I'll put it into the chat.
Okay.
Would you prefer the chat in Discord or in Roll20?
Discord, because I lose it, so if you put it in Discord, I can find it again.
Okay, I will repin it. Yeah, are you getting towards the point where you can end up using like the same connection and such you had previously?
I need to, like, at this point, like, it's getting better, but I need to go, like, yell at the service providers until they give me a new router or some shit.
Okay.
The most fun.
Yep. Okay.
Stupid service provider.
Got the edit. Yay!
I'm very happy that we didn't have to use Comcast because my apartment complex has a separate internet. So I just got that instead, and I eventually cut ties with Comcast because I figure any TV show I like, it cost me less to just buy Better Call Saul's next season on Amazon. So I can just watch it as it comes out, and I'll do the same for The Good Place. Because it's going to be cheaper than paying like $120 a month for internet I don't use, and for cable.
One day I can break up with Comcast. That's my dream.
Oh, it's been so great, and because it's like $120, because I was realizing I was barely watching. Like, there's very certain things I would watch, but I could watch most of that online or on Netflix or. Just cheaper to buy it on. Like,
I mean, I haven't had cable in like 8 years or something, so. Alright.
Okay, so I think we'll cut here to the new House of the Blue Orchid that they're setting up here momentarily.
Yeah,
But,
what's it called?
I will let you decide if you want to keep it the same or if you want to rename
Oh god, well, I think.
The House of Bluer Orchids.
Oh my god.
it. House of the Bluest Orchid.
If you let me name it, I'll come up with some really bullshit name. If you give me like 10 minutes, I can come up with a name for this.
And so I will say, Lone Sparrow, what is the pretense in which you are going that he's going to be let go? Does he think he's escaping, or like how do you want to set that up? I mean, granted, you have your own pretext, but this is the pretext you're talking to Master Flawless about.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Master Flawless feel like he's a tactical genius, and make this feel like this is like an organized escape that he just happened to lucked into. And like Flawless can be like, he's fallen straight into our trap. He's an idiot. He believes he escaped. The answer is no.
We've let him go, but part of an even bigger thing.
Yep. They think I'm a genius. He goes out going, these guys are idiots. Okay. So, while that is getting set up, and he's thinking up a name, give me just, again, half a second. I'm going to refill my drinks real quick. And then we are going to head to the Blue Orchid. Be right back.
Alright, Lexa, you gotta help me with this, because you're in this too, goddammit.
The Pale Orchid.
No. We can't have a third orchid name. I was thinking, like, the Fragrant Petal.
Ooh.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Oh god. Well, yeah, then it works. But, like, I was thinking, like, a petal of the orchid, you know? Like, huh? Huh? I found a name generator for isthmuses. And a lot of these are actually pretty good.
Yes.
And I was using them to try. Okay, place names, mage tower names. How bullshit are these gonna be? Oh, extremely bullshit. No.
And I am back.
Cool. I had tossed out the Fragrant Petal as a possible name for this thing, but Oren was caught that it might be a euphemism.
Is fragrant the smell you want, or the thing you want associated?
Yeah, that's why I'm a little. That's why when you put it, I was like, oh, I think the something petal might work, because like a petal of the orchid. Because that way, you know, because it's like part of it. A smaller part of it.
What's hilarious, what's popping in mind is poetry read in college that had like, just highly sexual imagery using petals and morning dew.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
The closed petal, the...
Well, it's not that petal is not closed.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
The Silk Petal. The... You want an adjective, or...?
Anything, I care more about mouthfeel than, like, descriptor. Oh, god damn it. Shut up.
Sorry, I was...
Anyway, we can come back to it.
Yeah. The something petal.
I'll figure it out. I take responsibility for this.
I will discover. Okay, so the house that you have, the place that has been bought and is being decorated, very nice. It's smaller than the house of the Blue Orchid, but it is fairly close to like the Nobles District. A good amount of the nobility and magistrates and such are there. It's part of it is a desire to get their hooks a little more into the political goings-on of the city. Because the Blue Orchid has been very popular, particularly among some of the wealthy. The supine couch has just been in a position where it's been easier for them to have their pulse on the sort of political side of things for a while. So we'll start. Pale Orchid.
Hello.
Hello. So as you're coming in, some of the clientele are going around. You see that there's a number of men and women who are clearly magistrates and politicians and such. They're in this area sort of taking a look and getting a feel for this new place, because it's opened up. There's a lot of curiosity. Across the street, you definitely seen a couple angry looks coming from across the street, which is the supine couch. Like, you are close enough that you can kind of see the other ones, which is a fairly brazen move to open up right there. So it's essentially trying to stake some territory. But the two of you in particular have made a bit of a splash in the locals. So as you're going through, I would say do one of two things. Tell me what the person who either approaches you or if you would rather have someone you approach kind of looks like.
Are there any in particular that stand out?
As you're sort of looking around, I mean, you see that there are. Well, I'll put it this way: would you rather have like a man or a woman approach you for this first one? Do you have a preference?
No preference.
Okay. Let's go with.
I feel like Paylor could be awkward either way.
Okay.
Also, I've got 3 names. I've got 3 possible names.
Okay.
The Regent's Petal, the Graceful Petal, the Auspicious Petal. I'm a fan of the Auspicious Petal, personally.
That was pretty good. What was the second one again?
The Graceful Petal.
The Auspicious Petal. It has that P in the middle, which goes well with...
Yeah, that way it doesn't like rhyme. Graceful Petal is a little weighty, and Regent is but might not be the Auspicious Petal.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Cool. Did it.
Okay. So the Auspicious Petal, Sister House of the Blue Orchid. A man in his probably late 30s, maybe early 40s, approaches you. Yeah, Pale Orchid.
Cool.
Fairly distinguished looking. I also put it in the Trello.
Oh, great, thanks.
So yeah, I just put under the House of the Blue Orchid.
Awesome, see it.
Yeah, kind of striking that he's looking you over and goes, "Hello, my name is Zhong Shi. I don't believe I've met you before."
Was that Ang Shi? Did you just say?
Zhong Shi?
Zhang Shi. Okay. She does like a small bow and says, I'm fairly new. It's a pleasure to meet you, though.
Very nice to meet you. Cause I heard one of... fucking... it wasn't a piano you played. What was it you would have played?
What's the
harp
word
or the
for...
zither?
The Guzhen.
Yes, it's a like ancient Chinese zither.
It's like a zither.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guzheng, that's it.
Yeah. Because a friend told me you were quite an amazing Zhuzhang player.
Yeah. God, what's the fucking word? But yeah, she says your friend speaks too highly of me, I fear.
There's a moment he sort of smiles. He goes, "You are new to this, aren't you?" Generally, when I'm in a place like this, I know that someone fairly quickly sees that a little bit of fire sort of works well, but you seem a little more withdrawn.
She lets out a very, very small sigh and says, I will admit that I'm very new to this, but I'm finding it very, very enjoyable, and meeting people like you is very interesting.
Oh, truly, what's interesting about meeting someone like me?
The general kind of I think she she smiles slightly and says the general kind of clientele that we get here tend to come from high places and places that I have never personally experienced, and it's interesting hearing about all the things that they've done.
Do you remember making a spire roll? Let's see if that happens. Either charm him or doesn't
Just
work.
get away from me.
Yeah, I think it'd be fairly far. Are you trying to send him away?
No, no. Which role is this?
It would just you should just
Inspire.
have the R4.
Yeah, but
and then,
it was Inspire. Because I have no Inspire.
Well, so yeah, your question here: you got 2 7s, you got 2 10s.
Does
You want to
interesting times always have to be bad?
It doesn't have to be bad. What I do is I can offer you a thing of interesting times,
Okay,
and then you can choose to take it or not.
cool. Offer me.
Okay, so I would say first of all, what's your
Actually,
you have
hold
a
on.
0.
Yeah, I have 0 Inspire. So what's the
Okay.
thing of
Well, so
reach?
I'll say in this particular one because it would probably be hard because like, with what you just said, this is someone who's used to and sort of hinted at being made to feel important. I love the one Plum Blossom's just or not Plum, like Pale Orchid's just like, yeah, it's not what I do. I just kind of stumbled into being awesome, and yeah, this is some stuff I do.
No Inspire. No Inspire. Got a plate to no Inspire.
Okay, so it would fail, which would give you a point if you take it. A point of malicious jaws,
Okay.
and how about this? We have someone else recognizes you here, and it basically comes in for your attention.
Cool. Let's totally do that. Malicious
Okay, so-
Joss.
Zenki, and also remember you can spend Joss for like kind of like a plot point to make something interesting. If you've got like, oh, of course I know this, whatever. So Zenki, the scholar that you had met before when you were asking about the sword, sort of comes up to you and just is like, Pale Orchid, and he just sort of spins and turns and goes, "Do not see that I was talking with her." And I want to cut right now over to Pale Orchid, or I'm sorry, Plum Blossom.
Those flowers.
Okay. So, how are you handling things this evening while the sort of opening night while people are traveling through and checking out the new place?
Yeah, I think since like I'm the head of it, I think I'm doing door duty and just greeting people for the most part, and just like introducing them. I'm probably seating people. I imagine, like you said, it's a smaller place, so I imagine that's not. I can see each person personal, and then like I think I do a quick read of that person, and then sit them and get someone who I think will be a good match for them. Apparently, I failed horribly with Pale Orchid, but I don't know her style yet, so that's fine.
And it was someone who came up to her who's, I think he's probably used to being catered to a little more expertly.
Yeah.
Like being made to feel. Cause like, I did love the. What's good about meeting me? Oh, you know, people like you are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You guys
so great.
are. Yeah.
Pale Orchid doesn't really do the flattery thing.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Um.
People usually flatter her, not the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you're coming in, you see Zanki, not Zanki, rather. That's the one who's talking to Kao Zen.
Oh.
Kao Zen's the one that took quite a liking to you.
Yeah, the one who's supposed to be leaving soon.
Yeah, and he's actually got someone with him.
Oh.
An older man, and he was sort of as he was sort of speaking, and comes up to you and is like, Pale Orchid, not damn it, sorry, Plum Blossom. Actually, what's making me is Pale Orchid, did you want to alter it so it's got Lexa instead of Xander? Because I keep seeing that and tripping on it a little bit.
Oh god, where is it?
Roll 20.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
in
I'll
the
change that
name on roll 20.
right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think that will probably help. Because I keep seeing the Xander and forgetting.
Yeah.
That's not Colt in this
My
case.
bad.
Yeah, so comes up with a man who's quite a bit older. Make a note of his name real quick. Who's that? I may have. There's a chance I may have gotten these names. Surname and then for. Oh, yep. So I got the name backwards. Not that big a deal. I'll fix this. Older man. He's like. Plum Blossom. I was describing you, to my friend, and we saw you. As I was describing you, he said that you sounded a little familiar, and my friend wanted to meet you. This man is, you can tell, is very rich. Quite old. He's definitely on the decline. Kind of has the air of someone who maybe used to be important, which is actually not uncommon here because enough people have retired. Some of them have kept up their power, everything else. Others still carry themselves that way, and it's always a little hard to tell until you find out who has truly divorced themselves from the world of politics and everything else, and who has still kept their fingers in.
Sure.
So you're not quite sure how to tell. And as he looks over you, and he goes, "My God." He was right. You have an uncommon face.
I give him a bow. Oh, why, thank you. Have you been a guest of the House of the Blue Orchid before?
No, I haven't. But when he described, at that point, let me put them together. So where the hell? Oh, but yeah, put them together so I don't forget it. Cao Zhen at that point goes, "No, I told you there was a. I mean, it's so weird. You kind of got the face of. You look a lot like the old emperor. There's a painting that we go by that had a picture of him when sort of much younger. It's striking. And as he's saying it, like as you're looking, Ken Chao is got much stronger sort of look on you at this point as he's sort of looking over your face. Now, remember, you have a thing where you gain, was it one destiny when someone recognizes you?
I'm going to look up the exact wording right now.
Was that recognizes you as well, probably that, because the Wulin stuff we haven't really been hiding.
Whenever the veil of your disguise seems to be pierced, and protecting your fake identity gets you in trouble.
Okay, when it gets you in trouble.
When protecting it gets me into trouble.
Okay. Yeah. So Kin Chao sort of looks over and he goes, "It's a striking image of the man I knew when I was younger.
Well, it's
Incredible.
almost a pleasure for someone like me to remind one of such noble birth."
Truly. How old are you, if it's not rude to ask?
That's a fantastic question. I think we established like mid-20s. Yeah, so like I'm 26, sir.
Sort of smiles at that point. He goes, "I spent much time in the palace as an advisor. I remember traveling with him many places, and well, probably nothing, but you have a look about you of an old friend. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?"
Why, no, of course not. One such as me. Why would I be? I don't know what quite you're trying to get at, sir. Are you looking for a specific service? I know some people do enjoy telling stories as they relax.
I actually believe I would not mind a conversation with you. It's been a long time since I've talked to someone as young and energetic and beautiful as you.
What do you think?
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Go on. But I just meant is it possible Sparrow would have heard any of this? He's patrolling and he's been told to keep an eye, at least on the higher ups, on.
Oh, were you here, or were you going to be? We're going to be cutting over to you and.
Okay, I didn't know if the tail had gone off yet. That's what I'm asking about.
I think
I'm not sure
I
if we're
would've-
doing that part yet.
Yeah, I guess I probably would have waited for Lone Sparrow to be here for opening night, just for opening night security. He's the guard I trust the most.
Okay.
Plus, I figured there would have been a day or two between the interview the first time and the supposed jailbreak.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we wanted to have you where we can kind of cut between the three of you doing these.
I don't really have an important thing in the scene. It's just whether or not Sparrow would have heard any of that and had started to form a context as to why he was told to watch Plum Blossom.
Do you want to spend a Joss to have overheard?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything with it.
Yep. That's one of the things we found out in the previous ones, because it's not combat all the time, simply because combat takes a while. And some of the stuff we've got here helps it go a little faster.
I've got 6 chivalrous Joss.
Yeah, it's very easy to build up Joss, so spending it on coincidences and plot point type stuff that happens is not a bad idea, because otherwise you may find yourself with a lot pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
spend a chivalrous Joss to have kind of overheard that.
Yeah, so he's I believe it would be very interesting to hear some about the adventures of someone such as yourself.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. I'll have to check my schedule. Unfortunately, during opening night, I'm not open for private requests for the night. I am trying to greet all of our first guests here firsthand. I'm sure you understand, but please take a seat. I'll have someone attend you, and I'll be sure before you leave to schedule time in the near future.
Okay. And I do want to double check with you as a player. This wouldn't be blowing up your identity or anything, but you're cool with someone sort of recognizing that you have the same face as your father?
Oh yeah, I mean I took a disadvantage for a reason, right? It's no fun if it doesn't get me in trouble.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that doesn't the player thing where it's well, I was planning on keeping that secret longer. I thought it'd be okay, but it's better to check. So
no, I was surprised it hadn't popped off yet, so.
Yeah, because I figured we had to relatively soon at least have someone here sort of. And, at that point, as you're sort of talking, Cal Zen is sort of standing by. You notice he hasn't been listening so much to the conversation as trying to stare into your soul.
Great.
As that is happening.
Yeah. I think I just say, Cal Zen, your friend here is certainly very interesting. Please, let me both get you to a seat, and I'll find one of our lovely attendants to make sure that you're well taken care of for the night.
So, Lone Sparrow, what are you doing during all of this?
Honestly, I'm probably just doing the normal guard thing. These are new people in a new area, so I have to basically recase the entire joint. Okay. And just keep an eye on everybody, make sure that everybody's trained, keeping an eye out for the proper signals, keeping an eye out for people who probably might want us dead for what we did earlier. Okay. Make sure that Halbai hasn't done something ridiculous if she followed us here.
Okay. You see Mournful Ghost comes in and he's sort of looking around and he sees you and makes a beeline right towards you.
You're stealing my boyfriend, Lone Sparrow.
You also do notice Mournful Ghost's eyes kind of keep flitting over to Plum Blossom.
Oh, safe.
So as he walks over, he's well, tomorrow, while he is being taken for bathing Call of Nature, there's going to be a slight robbery that takes place somewhere near soon. Some bandits, some thieves in there, and our people are going to become distracted. This fit what works for you?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So he kind of tells you, like, there's a place not far from the Janig Manor where they would take him to again. They like, sort of outside of a bathing facility. They're going to be, he tells them, like, we're going to be using the excuse that there are some people visiting that would be better if he's not there for, just on the off chance. So we're removing him from a bit. His guards will become distracted. I'm sure he'll probably use that to escape. Because in your luck,
Good.
I'm one of the bandits.
I'm sure you'll play the role well.
If you need some backup, just say I can kick you through a window to get closer to him.
I'm afraid I won't allow that to happen a second time. At least until you earn that like you did the first one.
He smiles. He goes, surprised you didn't decide to pick up the speed until yesterday. Or this morning. By the way, is Plum Blossom working this evening? I mean, notice she's here, or he's here, but he doesn't seem to be, mixing so much as, and like looks over at Pale Orchid, who's looking very uncomfortable. The person that she's talking to, like, well, I guess neither of them are particularly. Is this a thing they actually do, or is this a disguised sideline that's maybe not their thing?
What do you think?
He looks over at Pale Orchid and he goes, well, I'm thinking this is... I've been in a number of houses like this. I rarely see an employee looking that uncomfortable without the other person being particularly creepy, and that guy doesn't seem to be.
Or maybe she's just playing to a new type. There's something about a shrinking violet.
Well, there are shrinking violets. But then he sort of like looks back towards Plum Blossom and goes, I will talk to you later.
Assuredly.
Okay. Pale Orchid.
Just kind of looking. I don't get what he sees in him.
You're a fool! You're a fool, Unsparrow! I'm a snack!
You shut up! How dare you! Yeah, so Zanki comes up, is like the scholar that you met before, and she's like, "Oh, Pale Orchid," and then Zongshi sort of turns like, "Do you not see that I was speaking with her?" And at that point, Zanki kind of like pulls herself short a little bit because she's a scholar and someone who's not of the higher classes. Definitely not like sort of the rich and powerful as a man like this. And she's like, I'm sorry, I hadn't. I suppose maybe I'll talk to you another time.
I think Pale Orchid is going to try and defuse the situation, which probably won't go well. But
it'll be fun.
She,
I mean, like, also keep in mind that like there are guards here. Like we have guard staff.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing she remembers about the upper class is that you never want to piss them off because you never wanted to piss her off when she was fucking one of the upper classes.
I remember I was a total bitch.
I was an absolute bitch, yeah. So she just goes over, like, quickly, puts a hat... What's the name of the noble? Sorry, I'm going to be terrible.
No, it's fine. Zongshi. It's one of those things that because these aren't names that we hear on a regular basis, it is harder to remember. It's the same thing when I tried to read Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because I didn't, like, peg it as a name. I mean, I knew it was a name, but it didn't lock into the same sort of places like Steve.
Yeah, Zongshi
It's also
noble.
It's in the Trello too, which I've been using like a Bible.
Oh yeah, I mean I've basically got the Trello open up. Like Trello, I think is an amazing thing for role playing games. In particular, here it's useful to like remember stuff.
Yeah. And what was the name of the scholar who knows that I have a badass evil sword?
Zanki. I put her at the bottom of the Magnificent Ink one. Actually, maybe I'll just move her over to the other one, so she's there now.
Cool. And what are their pronouns? Sorry.
Oh, Zhangqi is her, and Zhang Q rather is her, and Zhangqi is. Let me just. And Zhangxi is male.
Okay.
He. Let me put.
Cool. Yeah. Then she's gonna like very quickly and gently put a hand on Zhangxi's arm, just to like get his attention, and be like, "There's lots of people out here. How about I give you a private performance so you can judge my music yourself?" In my
From what
room,
I've heard, that would be most welcome.
She smiles and just says, "Of course. Please just give me 30 seconds to deal with this other patron, and I'll be right with you."
Certainly. He kind of looks over and takes a moment.
Cool. Yeah, she goes over to Zhang Q and is like, "Hey, yeah, this probably isn't the most amazing time, but like we can catch up afterwards if you want."
She just goes, I just want to let you know I've had someone come in specifically asking about Grievous Distance.
Were they on fire?
No.
Okay. Can I meet you at your house tomorrow or this evening?
Certainly, I do. Yeah. And then just like she looks kind of like this is not the sort of place that she's used to being. So like she's just sticks out, and she's like looking all over the place because she is clearly the poorest person here by a damn sight.
Can I spend a joss to like have noticed this like weird thing happening?
Certainly.
Cool. I'm gonna spend a joss.
I feel like a lot of joss is going to be spent to like have overheard stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, also like I think it's since I'm greeting people, like I didn't know who this person was, but like definitely could tell they were like at least visibly like not the wealthiest patron here.
Yeah.
So I think I probably just like kept an eye out. So I think maybe
And she looks kind of bookish and like it just really sticks out.
Yeah, so seeing Pale Orchid like struggling a little bit, coming up, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, if you're a friend of Pale Orchid's, please, consider your first night here complimentary. I'll be sure to let our staff know that you are to be treated well."
Pale Orchid like gives a very thankful look towards Plum Blossom, and then smiles and says, "I'll leave you in very capable hands," and then goes over to escort Zhangxi to her room.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just find one of our staff who's very like low key, not the type who's like, hey, how are you? Someone who knows that like you don't need to butter up a person. Like I'm getting the read from Zankyu that like she just wants to like drink tea and like chit chat with someone here, maybe. So yeah, and then I make sure, I get it all sorted out. Yeah. She's getting the night in the nicest pleasure house for free.
Well, yeah, I would say that's one of the things where if you see someone come up and she's just like kind of shakes her head, "Oh no, I was just I come to see to talk to," and kind of points back over her shoulder at the retreating Plum Blossom. No, are you talking to her, or you have someone else talking to her?
I'm talking to her right now.
Oh, she goes, "Oh no, I came to talk to." We're gonna Pale Orchid. We'll talk later. It's not a. It's a. I'm not used.
You're not used to this sort of place. I understand.
Yes, very much so.
Please, I'll be happy to escort you out the door if that would be more comfortable for you. But since you are a friend of Pale Orchid's, please, we have private rooms, much quieter, much less people. If you just want to have a cup of tea and catch your breath, and if you would like someone to talk with. Someone who I know wouldn't overbear on you.
She's like, "No, I think, we're gonna talk tomorrow. It's fine. She, like her eye, you see her eyes kind of like catching on something. It's kind of glamorous to be around people. They're just people who walk around like they're just big britches motherfuckers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them here tonight, and like just this, she's sort of looking around and she just looks overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think that. I like offer her like my arm if she wants it. I'm like, I would be happy to. Please, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I know it can be different, this sort of environment, and the comfort of any of our patrons, even if they're only stopping by to say hello. Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm Plum Blossom. Please let me get you outside for a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you. And then kind of joins you, and then as she kind of gets out, she's like trying to think where she's trying to sort of like leave a little bit, not be rude.
I catch on, and like I'm very much like, well, I must get back to attending the door, but it was nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. I see you.
Bye.
Just as that moment says, see you, and you just see her whole thing deflate, like, God, that was a dumb thing to say.
I like your little friendly wave, like.
Oh, I love her so
I love her so much! I just want her to be happy!
I'm just making a note that she's very awkward.
I love her! I want to be her best friend! We're like Zon Cutie, am I right? Bow!
Oh, you.
Alright. Was there anything else?
Yeah, I think...
Was Mortal Ghost doing anything else? I'm trying to remember.
Mortal Ghost is looking for you.
Oh, well, I'm at the door. So, I imagine, like, as the night goes on, like, once the initial crowd, like, opening time happened, like, it probably slowed down. And so instead of just, like, facing outward, I'm facing inward and just sort of, like, generally keeping an eye on things. Stepping in here and there. So I'm very much available.
Okay. As he sort of comes by and he's like, I put you in charge. That was quick.
To be fair, I have been working in Magnificent Inc. for many summers. Not always here, but I have spent a great deal here. And I'm not going to play coy. I'm good at what I do.
Kind of smiles at that point and goes, it's good to be good at what you do, especially if what you do is, well, what you do.
I'll be happy to show you in person sometime. As you can imagine, I'm a little bit occupied during our opening night, but later in the evening, or perhaps another day soon, I would be happy to make a private appointment and on the house as a token of our companionship.
Sort of smiles. He goes, I'd like that. I unfortunately have a rather busy day tomorrow. As I'm sure you're aware, we have an escape to plan.
Of course, I'll be leaving that in both of your capable hands. Unfortunately, I'm not as fast as our friend there.
That's a shame.
There's much more pleasure in taking things slowly.
I prefer to rush into what I then take slowly.
As long as you know how to enjoy a cup of tea without downing it all in one swallow.
On the other side of the bar, Lone Sparrow completely consumes a cup of tea all at once.
And damn, you know it's like super good tea! You just drank like $30.
You're supposed to savor it. Well, I drank it. It's tea. It was fine. He goes, well, in that case, very shortly I'll take you up on your offer.
Absolutely, I'll be working here when I'm not doing private appointments. It won't be hard to find me.
Well, perhaps you can teach me how to sip as opposed to take life by the horns and drink it all down.
I'll be honored to be your instructor. Give him like an over-exaggerated bow. All right.
Okay, so a couple things at this point. For Pale Orchid, do you want to go more in depth with this person, or do you just want to imagine that it's you essentially trying to appease him for a little while, like keep him kind of happy and then get out of the way, which I think seems to be what you want?
Yeah, this person isn't meant to be important NPC, right? Or are they?
No, well, the thing is it's very easy to make someone an important NPC.
Okay.
He was kind of created on the spot, so he could end up being important, or he could just be the sort of full of himself magistrate that shows up on time to time, or just never again. So it's one of those things I think is there partly to show that I think you said you're just not used to this sort of thing and don't really let people in so much.
Yeah. I guess, can I roll to see if I've pleased them? Like, we don't have to go into detail.
Yeah, well, you did, particularly with the performing, because I think we've got some things happen with all three of you the next day that would let us skip and then sort of bounce back and forth between all three of you.
Cool. I'll just do a quick summary roll then. 26 plus whatever my fucking stats are. Plus 15, so 26, 36, 41.
Okay. Yeah, 41 is a memorable feat. So as you're playing, like it's that thing where as he's listening and you're playing. Are you using the fact that you're playing so that you can kind of ignore him and focus on the instrument more?
Oh yeah, like the easy way out of being like, oh, I can totally just not have to talk to people if I'm playing music right now.
Yeah. What says is there comes a point where you realize he's talking at you, not to you so much, but he's sort of like he's kind of gone into this thing where he can kind of just like discuss and unload.
Yeah,
and you discover that with some people like this, sort of an occasional smile and nod, particularly while you're playing this stuff, goes a very long way.
She's playing like she's not playing like too harshly or loudly to like obviously allow him room to speak, and then like will nod and like acknowledge that she's listening and things like that.
Yeah, so basically, like, the rest of your evening goes. You end up talking possibly with some other people. I don't know if it would necessarily as awkward, but you kind of get that place where people are finally leaving, and you kind of have your day sort of set.
Cool.
So I think the next day it looks like you were going to be going to talk to Zenki, the scholar.
Yes.
Okay. And I do know that the old magistrate, Qian Chao, wanted to come back and talk to you, Plum Blossom. And then Lone Sparrow, you have your, you have an escape to pretend is happening.
Yes.
Okay, let's begin with a bit of the escape. So, you kind of meet with Mournful Ghost. As he sort of mentions, there's a bunch of the Resplendent Phoenix enters. They're having a bit of a summit or a meeting to essentially discuss the things that have happened and try to not have things in here sort of come to blows, particularly as they are trying to prove themselves for gallant eagles. The hope is that cooler heads prevail. Because these two groups have not liked each other for a while. And I kind of meet with Mournful Ghost, and he and his they've got like masks, kind of like cloth covering their faces and such. And as they're ready to look like they got one of their people put some like a little bit of padding underneath his clothes, enough so that when he's got it, like a couple of them have a little bit of fun, like hitting him very lightly with the sticks to make it look like with stabs to make it look like he's being beaten up, but not actually like so that they can actually kind of swing a little like decently without making it look too bad. Because I mean, the guy's kung fu is going to help to a degree. And he goes, "Well, I think we're in a good way for thieving someone and pulling off a few of our people. And you're like kind of laying in wait, not terribly far from, about a block away. They're taking him to there's a bathing house that they have emptied out. Those other people have left, and they bring him in, and it's like, you may bathe here. And he's going through, and goes, at that point, Mournful Ghost goes, I think that feels like our cue. And they start kind of, like, the other guy sort of just looks, takes a little bit of a drink of wine, and gets his courage a little bit, goes, all right, let's do it. Help! Help! He starts, like running towards the doors as the other ones are starting to attack. And the two guards that brought over Summer Salamander, like, rush out to help, and they're essentially pretending to fight in the street. And a moment later, you see Summer Salamander, like, sneaks out the other side as he sort of sees, and he there's a moment where he's sort of looking to see if he can see you. Are you making yourself hidden, or, like, quote unquote hidden, where, like, yeah, he'll see you,
Like, quote unquote hidden.
Okay. Yeah, he sort of looks, and he looks at you, like, a bit of a smile on his face, and then, like, nods up towards the bit of wall, and then, like, takes a running leap, and then leaps up, hand over it, and then, like, vaults over the wall, and on, like into a courtyard of a small group of homes on the other side. You following?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you kind of come over, and he's sort of waiting, and he goes, wow, I'm totally fooled.
Yes, it's a wonderful, this marvelous, thought-worthy, unable to be seen through plan was thought up by the great master himself.
Well, on the off chance someone is taking a look, I'm going to pretend that I'm trying to go fast enough that nobody can see. I'm sure you'll have no problem keeping up, because you are ridiculously quick.
We shall see.
At this point, so he kind of leaps up, and he's kind of keeping low but over the rooftops. And as you're going, you see a few lookouts that seem like they have been set up a few places. There's probably more you don't see, because you're going behind him and staying fairly quick as he goes over the city wall, and then starts to flee. And you are far enough behind that you're not right on his tail, but, like, you can kind of see him. And eventually, I'm assuming you catch up in a place where you can kind of go a little bit more leisurely of a pace, where you're out of sight of the city.
Yep.
Yeah, far enough away. So yeah, he's taking you to the east, and through, like, there's through some hills and such, and he's telling you, it's like, okay, pull up her name again. Sharpay Wing, or Wing Sharpay, is who you're going to meet.
Wing Sharpay?
Yeah.
Like a dog with wings.
Yes, it was. I used one of the Chinese name generators, and that popped up.
Okay.
I was like, I guess that's an actual Chinese name. I'll make it here. She and Red Eagle have been in charge of a lot of what's happening here, and I think she's who you want to speak to. And you are heading your way into some of the hills in the city.
Okay, I'm kind of, like, making mental notes of the path, because I've got to find my way back eventually.
Okay. So, Pale Orchid. You go to Zonkeys?
Yes.
Okay. As you arrive, she's got, like, a bunch of books sort of spread out, and she's been making a lot of notes on a bunch of people's papers. She's just, hi, Pale Orchid, welcome, please. Something you want, like, wine, tea, what?
Tea would be nice, thank you.
Okay. And then sort of head to the next room and start sort of making some. And you're sitting there for, like, a little bit while she's getting that worked on. It'll be just a moment. So, yeah, I had this guy. He looked kind of beaten up.
Was his name Hooded Cobra?
She's like, that wasn't the name he gave. Do you describe him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. Like he was looking for information, in particular on Grievous Distance, and stuff on the sword.
Did you say anything?
No, I told him that I mean, I'm an expert on swords. I'd heard of it, of course. He wanted to know if I had any information on Grievous Distance himself, and I don't. I mean, I've been looking through. I've been looking through like a lot of the books. There's like tales of him have popped up here and there, but not for quite some time. Since did we ever come up with the name of the person that he fought?
No, we didn't.
Your family? Okay.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, not since. I mean, he got into. There's a battle against someone, and since then he hasn't really been heard of. We don't know if he succeeded, failed, left the Wulin. None of that. But do you have the sword with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she
She goes-
sighs slightly. Yeah, go ahead.
She goes. I do know that's. I mean, that's fairly dangerous. It's led a lot of people to some bad places.
Yeah. She says, "I'm not sure there's going to be any luck on Grievous Distance because most of the sources say that he's dead. As for the, you said he also asked about the sword. What was he asking?
Just information on it. I mean, I'm essentially wanting to know if swords pick if these legendary weapons, if they choose their own wielders. I mean, as far as we know, they don't. But there's a lot of arguments whether they're made great or terrible by the person wielding them, or if they themselves have some of the elements of exalting someone or corrupting them, and it's very hard to tell what's real. And I mean, your people are. I mean, you people. I mean, I don't mean you. I mean the Wulin.
Yeah, I get it. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think she's got like a small smile on her face, and she's just like, "It's okay. You can relax. You don't need to be worried about this."
So she kind of takes a breath, and she's like, "It's very hard to tell what is fact and what is legend that grows, not just from people bragging about things that they have done or have exaggerated, but once these reach other people's ears, they start to tell them in these larger than life ways." I mean, the Wulin is practically walking legends. So when they come around, people want to ascribe all sorts of things to what's going on. So like as far as whether a sword can corrupt someone, or whether they find people, or whether it's just inherent in who you are, I have no idea. I mean, have you noticed? I mean, anything about it? Is it? I mean, you have an evil weapon, or it was used for evil, but.
I think she sighs and thinks about how the fight went with Hooded Cobra and what she did specifically, and was like, the last couple weeks or so, I've had a lot of people say that there's something in me that's the same as Grievous Distance.
Remind me, did she know you're related? I don't think it came up, but I can't
no,
remember.
it didn't. No, she said specifically not. She didn't say it. Like, yeah, she hasn't said that they're related. I've had a lot of people say that I have the same spark or same look in my eyes.
So Grievous Distance did a lot of terrible things. And she's looking in your eyes kind of intently. She's like, you don't strike me as... Do you think you're a bad person?
Yeah, I think she is taken aback a little bit and says, "No, I'm not bad. I mean, I guess I'm selfish in a lot of ways, right? Like, I've just getting my hands on this sword was a very selfish act, and I'm putting my desires before people I know and people who would have opinions on this. But I'm not him. I don't want to do the things that he did. I don't want to hurt people.
Okay, well, that's good, right? Oh, your tea, your tea. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And this like rushes into the next room to kind of get it and then finish making it.
She gives a little bit of an exasperated smile and thinks on like, is she bad? And is like, she looks at the sword and is just like, and just thinks on if it's the weapon or the wielder, and leans back and says, so did Hooded Cobra seem to have a plan, or did they say any information?
I mean, the biggest thing you wanted to know essentially was, do these sort of swords choose somebody, or do the? I mean, I think he thinks it's some sort of destiny. And my theory is, a weapon becomes legendary and powerful because they're used in great deeds. Because when these first show up, they show up in the hands of heroes, massive heroes or villains, not people who are starting out. They're people who can change the world. So I think maybe part of who that person was gets lodged into them, because the one thing everything's clear on is there's a lot of power in these weapons when they're used. But I don't. If something was changed, if it was turned into something good, would it even be recorded as the same weapon if someone else used it? I mean, we definitely know people have taken weapons and changed the names. But I don't know if it's one of the legendary ones.
So if I do great deeds, I don't suppose if I just keep working in the pleasure house, it'll just turn into a sort of awkwardness, will it?
Kind of smile. She's like, I know that. I think the weapons have to be used.
Yeah.
To be great.
Yeah.
I mean, do they just sort of, I don't know, go away? I don't know.
I'm sorry about how the man treated you yesterday.
No, I mean, I rushed in. I mean, I really shouldn't have. I've never even been in it. It was so weird to be in a place like that.
Yeah, I work there and feel the same thing.
Like her shoulders just sort of drop in relief a little bit when you say that. She's like, "Oh, I thought I was the only one." It was so. I don't know how it just. I'm better with like less people around. I deal with books and other people like me.
Like you? What do you mean, like you?
Like scholars and other people who like books and things that aren't directly in front of them that we can talk about like they don't matter. Because like I always talked about these swords, they're interesting, and these weapons, and they don't matter. But to you, it's realer in a way that I maybe wasn't expecting to ever confront.
Well, it's not just about baser pleasures or things like that. The thing that I did last night was just be spoken at most of the night.
That sounds fun.
I mean, if you just want to spend a while talking and having someone listen, then you can come in the day and it's a lot less busy.
That might be nice.
Yeah, it's usually the evenings that start to get how it was.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and I can. I mean, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind knowing what it's been like when you're using it. But yeah. Okay, so we cut the plum blossom, or do you have anything else, Pale Orchid?
I think, yeah. I think when she says for Pale Orchid to talk about how it feels using the sword, I think she's just like, yeah, I gotta go. But
Yeah, about that.
yeah, if you want to talk, I'll definitely. Either you can just invite me here, or I will. That's literally where I work and sleep. So.
Okay, yeah, I would love to see you again. It would be I'll stop talking. No, I'll see you.
Thank you for the tea. And then she walks out.
Good.
And Plum Blossom.
Plum blossom.
Yeah.
The next day, Kin Chow comes by. Comes in and just looks back over a painting we have, and it really is remarkable. Said mid-20s.
That's correct.
26 or whatever. She's like, do you know who your father is? I'm sorry, that's too rude. Is your father still with us?
Unfortunately, no, he isn't. My mother didn't say where he went.
Sort of smiles for a moment and just goes, I had a friend. A very powerful friend who I got to travel with to sort of places I never expected to be.
I like taking this opportunity to like pour up some tea.
He goes, and this friend, I believe, he might be dead, he might not. I've not seen him in about a year. But about 26, 27 years ago now, when I was not a young man, but less old than I am now, we met an old friend of his. Pull up the name real quick. You ever heard of the Saint Beasts?
Oh, almost everyone has heard of them.
I had a chance to meet them. Well, one of them.
Oh, wow.
Being the presence, I mean, very odd, because as a part of me when I was young, I thought I would be shocked to have been in the presence of someone like that, but considering who I spent much of my time with, it was less distracting than I might have thought. And the friend of mine was he had a lot of responsibilities that I do not believe were what he thought they might be when he was younger. But when he was with the Western White Tiger, he seemed like a kid again. Years just seemed to roll off of him, and I saw the man he would have preferred to be.
And what did your friend do?
He was in charge of a great many people. And his son now is without friends and surrounded possibly by enemies. I've been gone from the capital a long while now. Didn't think I would be needed so much, but there's a moment he sort of looks at you and he just like, he was indiscreet quite often. And you have the look of someone who's aware. Are you? Are you his?
I leave such speculation to. I found such idle speculation to not be productive for my own joy in life.
Well, if you ever were to wonder, I am far too old to make the journey, but the Western White Tiger, I wouldn't mind knowing if my friend is still alive out in the world. He might be dead. But one thing I learned is he doesn't die easily. He was a powerful man. And you might want to be a little more cautious. You're in a town full of retired magistrates. There's enough people who knew him. You look like him when he was young. If they had retired and been around him, which, I mean, granted, not many people are around the Emperor. It is like looking into my past when I look into your face.
I think I'll set down the tea I've been drinking, look out the window, look back at him. The resemblance is that strong then.
To someone who knew him 40, 50 years ago, when he was younger, yes, maybe. But I was around him more than most. There are some paintings that sort of show him, but most of them were never close enough to actually get a particularly good look at him, or they're copies of other ones. So few people know what is accurate and what wasn't. I'm one of them.
I have a proposition. I will go to the White Tiger, see what I can find out about him. Because were you just being coy earlier when you said you were concerned about him?
I would very much like to have a glass of wine with my old friend if he were still alive. I fear that the eunuchs may have had him killed, may have found something. His heart changed after an assassination attempt. Something in him was not the same since. As far as I know,
go ahead.
As far as I know, he's dead. I'd like to think he's not, but I'm far too old to find out.
Man, this old dude. As far as I know, he's alive. I'll talk to White Tiger, see if I can find out more. In exchange, I'd like to ask that be indiscreet.
Sort of smiles at that point. He goes, "What do you think would happen if I were not discreet? If I'm sitting here with an illegitimate son of the Emperor, and I chose to abuse that knowledge?"
Not that illegitimate. Just one of many.
Oh, yeah. However, if I have one of his bloodline here, there'd be much to be gained. However, I miss my friend. And I feel comfortable enough that if he were to hear me call him friend in company that was not official, he would not be offended in any way. He was a wandering warrior in his youth. He didn't expect to have to become the Emperor. He was hoping to just be rich, royal, wandering fighter. He was happier then.
And I'm happier now like this.
Well, if you have any of him in you, we'll see if that lasts. He wasn't good at staying put.
I'll find out what I can and I'll reach out. But If you threaten the balance I've built for myself here, this life I have now, I will not do you that favor. I'm not trying to threaten you, but I did not expect a face to cause this much recollection.
I said I'd be careful. You're now in a part of town where there are more people who had been in his presence. Now, not many. And not many who were around him enough that they might recognize him, particularly, well, what he looked like when younger.
I'm
But
not... you can just drop it. Forget where I came from. Who I am now is important, and the person I am now will go out to White Tiger and find out what you... Forget the rest.
I have no reason to recall it.
I bow my head. More tea?
Certainly.
Alright, I think that's scene for me.
Okay. Lone Sparrow. You reach a small village. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure connection. You reach a small village on the outskirts as he takes you in. There's both Winter Salamander and a woman, probably early 30s. It's hard to tell with Wulin because your aging alters when you become Wulin. Wulin can be very long lived and look fairly young. Though some people end up looking very old, quite young, but also remain wickedly spry. So as you come in, they both turn very quickly and immediately sort of in stances as Summer Salamander comes in, has sort of the hand up, let them know, and they have that moment of like. Winter Salamander immediately goes to his brother, and then Wing Sharpay, who you're guessing who she is, sort of looks over and is like, "Who are you?" And I thought that Summer Salamander had been captured.
He did.
Summer Salamander goes, "Yeah, this is this is the person that captured me, and I think he'd be more interested in talking to you." She sort of looks at you. All right. Why would you be more interested in talking to me? You brought him back here. He wouldn't come in this calm if there were people following. We'd have been warned at least the moment he walked in the door. So, who are you and what do you want?
My name is Lone Sparrow's Wake, and I've come to find the woman who is as fast as fire.
She smiles at that bit and she goes, "I'm Wing Sharpay and you have found her."
Well then, I'm sure you're rested. Should we skip the niceties?
Just a little intrigued, she goes, "Certainly. Burning need to prove yourself?"
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, burning need to prove yourself?
Something like that. Me and Summer here have a bit of a disagreement. He says that fire is the fastest thing there is. I beg to differ.
Oh. Kind of looks over, she's like, "Yeah, lightning might be faster than fire, but I have a feeling that you're not full of lightning." At that point, Summer says, "I think he and his friends might be more open to us and our plight than the others." Which was like, really?
Just stop burning down buildings like assholes and we can probably talk.
Burning down buildings, though, is a good deal of fun.
Yes, but there are abandoned places and villages made out of straw for such things.
I want to burn down the villages made of straw. The people there are not my problem, are not problem for us.
And yet you picked a place surrounded by water and covered in stone buildings to attempt to set fire to.
Well, that was the place they were trying to set fire to, but anyway, it wasn't the manor.
Yes, just.
All right. So you're looking for who is faster. How do you wish to prove yourself?
In what way does a Wulin prove himself against one another?
She kind of looks and she's like, I suppose fighting's a possibility, but you're looking for speed, not power.
True.
Unless you wish to test both.
Perhaps at a later date. I'm not thinking about who is most powerful.
She turns at one point and goes, all right. And goes and takes a cup and clears off a table. And sits down and puts the cup directly in the center and then sits across from it.
I'll take the other seat.
Okay. She goes first. At the same time, we both strike the table. Cause this to fly up. One of us ends up with it and one does not.
We're doing that thing again where we're using speed and kind of like a place of finesse? Or is this
I think this one we can do a speed thing.
Okay.
It's like basically who's going quicker and then the wave
Got it.
to catch. I think we can both use speed for both of these.
Okay. Just I've got my G back. We can do fun things. Let's go.
Okay. So I'll just make a note here. So the first one's just initiative, which adds speed. So
8d10. She is a rank higher than me.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she's gonna put the 2 11s in the river and a 50 initiative. And she sits down and strikes at the same time as you.
Damn, she got some bonuses.
Yeah. And part of this is for get stuff in your river if you want.
It's time to consult the sheet. Let's see. I've got a 10 and a whole bunch of speed bonuses. I'm just going to actually, with the skills I have, this test might be moot.
Why is that?
Because light diffused by cloud says that my waves can't be broken, so long as
Part of this is see like both. I mean, it'll end up being a thing of speed. Part of this is to just put some stuff in your river for the other thing for speed.
Okay, I meant like because the wave is catch the cup. So long as I can get my speed within 30 of hers, she can't deny the wave of Lone Sparrow catches cup.
Unless she catches it first.
No, I am. By complete your waves as if the waves have already finished. They don't.
But
The turn comes around, but the completion is inevitable.
But it's one of those things. If someone does it first, I mean, because in this case, because it can't be an automatic win in a case like this, because if the cup's not there anymore because she has it, because like if someone goes first, they can essentially take a wave away from you if they were doing something to the thing that makes it so. Like if someone was smashing a table and you were trying to throw the table, and they go before you and smash the table, it's no longer there for you to throw, or at least not the whole thing.
Throw 8s in the river. We'll take 2s to the roll. 22, 42. Yeah. That's 8s in the river and 57 on initiative.
Okay. So this one, for a speed test, why don't we both go ahead and make the rolls for speed? You're going faster than her.
Yep.
You're going before.
But she's got some fucking dice there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Hi, all pairs.
Oh Jesus!
I have 2 weights in the river. I have
Just,
5'8".
5/8. There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, because like her thing is that she can put stuff to it, but you're putting 58 plus whatever you roll. The most she can do is a 29 plus her stats.
Yeah, I'm
So, and you're bam, you just pop it out of the air. And there's a moment where she's just like, "Fuck." She's like, "You are remarkably fast."
That's what they keep telling me.
Now, I appreciate speed. I'm a little more interested in you and your friends. We kind of looks back over at Summer. He told you what the fire doctrine does, what we're trying to do.
Burn down rich people's houses?
Burn down society, make it so that things are equal.
Honestly, I can't say that I share your goal.
We might have a goal that you would share, however. And one that the two of us working together might actually be able to accomplish.
Oh?
There is a library that I'm trying to get access to some of the lesser-known stacks. I am looking for information on the Fire Sutras, the ancient holy books of our order. I am aware of something that someone like you might be somewhat interested in.
What would that be?
As we're finding information about where some of these scrolls that we're looking for have been taken, I found out a few of the other things that are supposed to be there. And for someone whose speed is, well, particularly important to them, I am aware that... Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm aware that there is, in this same library, some information on the Devil Deflecting Blade.
Like, Sparrow's eyes just kind of narrow.
Some of the techniques of, well, not only one of the more powerful pieces of kung fu ever created, but one of the fastest.
Go on.
And if I had someone who was maybe known to some people in the city, as well as on my level, helping me find those places, that would make my job a good deal easier.
You just want the books, right?
There's 2 things we want. Ideally, we would like to have the Resplendent Phoenix Society and the Falling Leaves Society fight themselves to a cinder, so that all the magistrates who sit there sitting pretty can't stop the people beneath them from rising up, which we were going to see about helping. But at this point, well, we've been exposed. Those Fire Sutras are holy to our order. You're an Eagle Talon. Do you ever know Zalma?
Yeah, like, Sparrow's, like, internally cold sweat. I've heard of her.
How's she doing? I miss the taste of her.
Like, this is, like, he's not exploding externally, but he's... I'm going to have to ask you to clarify that.
We were close. Long ago.
You're telling me that you personally knew Zalma.
Sorry, I had a moment of whimsy. Good reminder. Yes, knew her quite well.
That a member of the Fire Doctrine was personal friends with one of the highest-ranking members of the Talon.
Do you think that the Eagle Talon discriminates in the people that they work with? You know better than that.
Oh, no. I grew up there. You see all sorts of people coming and going.
I have had reason to be working with some of the, well, to have hired some of the higher-ups. And there was a time when she worked with some of us.
A fact that's never come up in anything else. I'm sure they all have their reasons.
Is she doing well?
I cannot say. I haven't seen her in quite some time.
Well, so how does it sound to you to work together with me, a member of the Fire Doctrine, to both get something we want, and I'd rather not burn down. I'd rather not burn down a library.
All right. Here's the offer that I will make. I'll sell my services as far as they are required. I will not help you incite a war, as that's honestly already brewing. They'll tear themselves apart, and soon enough. The internals of both organizations are going at each other. You, as yourself, aren't needed. All you need to do is maintain a strong force for when the carnage ends. Reform is coming within them, it seems. And with reform coming across the rest of the Wulin, all you have to do is make yourselves presentable at the end. Reform the image of a demon and, well, there might be a place among the pillars. On the second hand, I'm not doing this as a friend. We are mercenaries, as we are. The promised payment cannot also be what we are after. I'll take the information that it exists as payment, at least for now.
But I know where it could be found. The payment, if it's not there, we can pay. We have coin. But if what you find is a fragment of the devil deflecting blade, that is, and I think you'll agree, more than enough payment.
Agreed.
She puts a hand across the table.
The last step is that you are not to contact me or my associates for right now. There's a lot of heat, as it were, and I'm going to catch quite a lot of it for, well, supposedly failing this mission. Lay low, if you would.
Certainly. What's a good way to put something up? You'll see it if either you want to contact us or we want to contact you.
I imagine like a lot of secure mail goes through the Talon Guild.
Mm-hmm.
So like leaving scrolls somewhere along a postal route or something like that to be brought into the city would be redirected to me pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
If they need me and I can use the same dead drop they were talking about for winter to contact them.
Yep, that works.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, then we have a deal.
She shakes your hand if you shake it.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I have a feeling that this might be an interesting experience for both of us.
We are living in interesting times.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Now,
That seems like a cut, or...
yeah. I don't have work tonight, so we could keep going if we wanted to.
I do have work in the morning. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be at like 5, so...
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Do we want to do deeds?
Sure.
I love Supreme Burst of Speed. It just allows me to absolutely destroy everyone.
God damn. That was
'Cause I was looking at,
ridiculous.
like, basically for her to actually match your speed, would have to like have picked the same stuff as you. And I'm like, well, she would have done that because I don't want to do that. But
There
pretty
is...
fast, but
For a second there, I
also
thought she...
above you.
For a second there, I thought she had the Creation Sutras, which are a form of Fire Sutras focused on speed.
Oh, nope.
That's in the
She's-
half-burnt manual.
Yeah, she's very fast for what she did, but she's not like that's not her main focus like it
Yeah.
is for you.
No, I built only's lightning speed. This is... Like, honestly, I wasn't certain of my chances in, like, open combat, because I can probably still lose that pretty easily.
Yeah.
But... speed tests I can keep blowing the crap out of. Anyway.
All right.
So long as the ball stay with me.
For deeds for folks?
Also, poor Sparrow, he's found that the woman he looks up to has apparently been working with terrorists.
God.
The thing is that's actually, it shouldn't be terribly surprising, because that's one of the problems Gallant Eagle has, is they have been working with everybody, essentially.
Yeah. But the thing...
So that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, like, Resplendent, Phoenix Society, and Falling Leaves would probably try to change, which overall he's probably not adverse to. He sort of felt like to become mercenary was important.
Yeah. I think the way it's phrased isn't the fact that they're openly selling themselves to, like, terrorists, but it's like they don't ask questions about what's being transported.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they have to know.
Yeah.
They know that they've worked with some bad people.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, do you know what would be the worst thing that somebody could activate deeds-wise for me right now?
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
Is either activating Zhao Mei or Hawk.
Oh.
Let's go.
Because Sparrow's probably feeling pretty good right now, and those are probably the only two people who could reasonably put him in his place.
God.
Also, do remember you can come up with things that are not on that list too. But
Yeah.
there's also some stuff directly in the book if you want to, and if you want to, like, take some time to look over some stuff to come up with it. That's also very easy to do.
Where's the one that just says even faster person appears, and just have like eight of those. So when it beats the fast person,
we turn it into the Flash TV
faster
series.
appears.
Man, at this point, I'm outclassing people by like 2 to 3 magnitudes.
That was
Look at
very
this.
lucky to get the 5/8.
Yeah,
It was
that was like your rolls against Hooded Cobra were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All
right.
Rolls aren't good. Oh wait, I have 5/8 plus an additional 20 plus. Shit. Anyway,
Like, I'm enjoying
Deeds.
how Pale Orchid is like a fighting badass, but also the most awkward person in the world.
Yeah, it's extremely good.
I have a plan for next session that Pale Orchid's going to go over to Plum Blossom and be like, how do I talk good?
Oh.
How me speaky well?
Oh.
Also, I think a small rule change for, in particular, that just affects Pale Orchid. It has the thing where, like, you're supposed to lose 1 destiny off the sword each session.
Oh,
This sword doesn't work it, but
That's like
I think that
combat
expects
oriented.
I think that expects a game that has a battle every session, which this is not going to be. Partly because battles take a while and the character stuff. So I think it'll be like maybe every story that it doesn't happen, which like after a major arc. So it's probably not going to go down much unless maybe you do something specifically to make that
So
happen.
it's happened this story, basically.
Yeah, like it may go down by 1 because it just loses like 1, but because you're not going to be using the sword every every time.
Cool. Let me open the deeds thing.
Even faster person shows up.
Even faster person shows up, and then there's just like 8 like more of those.
We've got Lone Sparrow and then Reverse Lone Sparrow. And
God damn! Give me Reverse Lone Sparrow. I thought that's what Mournful Ghost was, and I was hyped. I wanted to like foot race him, and then he becomes my cohort, and we just like speed our way through the distance.
Well, I think Lone Sparrow easily got a forced chivalrous deed for either one of those feats of ridiculous speed.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So that's 3. So I'll put 3 entanglement on the lore sheet document.
Okay.
I mean, we could have someone mess with Lone Sparrow to make a go for Eaglehead for only 3 points, or we could save up for that Hawk or Zama.
I don't think I spent any of these last time. So
No, we spent it on you getting information on the double deflecting blade.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, which could happen. But
Yeah, we could probably save up. This just popped off.
kind of put it in context. Shit, not Halby. What the fuck is her name? I can't remember. But the two options that are on there, Hawk and the other one, are Gallant Eagle's actual kids,
Oh!
who are like the two chief competitors for the title right now.
Yeah, it'd be very fun if Zelma showed up, because she's the one that you're like... kind of seeing? I keep forgetting what the nature of your relationship is.
The nature of my relationship is that Sparrow is an awkward dork who's never talked to her.
Oh, we have to get her to show up because we need everyone to be awkward in this campaign.
Yeah, because I think we had talked a little bit. I'm gonna make a note there about that. Because I think we had talked a little bit whether it should be like you used to be together or not. But yeah, so the funny thing is like you've definitely had lots of lovers and such. It's just this is the one that makes you feel a little stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay saving up your entanglement.
And even then, it's dense. Like, it's weird. I imagine the people who are considered lovers might not exactly be that description, but they're people who end up attached to him just due to destiny doing weird ass shit. Like, the only reason I know how by is because shit ton of scams I got roped into accidentally.
Yeah.
And now we're really good friends.
The only thing I can think of for Plum Blossom is because I'm slightly biased. Is that Plum Blossom played Mother Hen at the evening and was just like, no, I'm gonna spend a joss to make sure that I can take care of sweet baby pet orchid right now. Which would be benevolence, I guess?
Gotta love that benevolence.
But also, you fucking flirt with everyone, and also there was that situation where with the guy being like, yo, you're Empress?
I did threaten an old man.
I did like that. I did actually got the back up. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, y'all have decisions to make. I don't want to try to influence
I'd almost
you
say
too much.
I like the threatening the old man, and I almost say that's ferocity, in a way that's baring your fangs at someone who didn't need it.
I guess to me it more read individualism, because this person is threatening my ability to be the person I have decided to be.
Yes, but you chose to respond to that with near overwhelming force.
Oh, not near overwhelming. I just said, be careful. It wasn't that bad of a threat. Well, it was a ferocious threat. Would you call that threat ferocious?
It was implied.
Coming from a guy who's just pouring tea, and then he's.
I guess I didn't mean to communicate that much violence, but it works. I mean, yeah, whatever y'all want.
I think it's ferocity.
Yeah, I will fuck you up, fam.
Alright. See, I like this, I want to say I like this old guy a lot, but when he started, trying to be what do you think would happen if I said stuff? I was like, no, that's not how this goes.
Yeah.
Alright?
Yeah, part of his thing is be discreet. He's like, listen, I'm being super discreet.
Alright, I've added that to the lore sheet. I have 8 points saved up.
Mm-hmm. And remember, there's all sorts of other things that you can actually look. I think it's page. How was it gonna look like? Actually, I think I put it in roll 20. Let me double check. I think there's a thing that's just essentially the lore sheet information on creating your own. Because there's a thing at the very beginning that essentially breaks down, if you want to create your own lore sheets, here's how to do it. And it doesn't take, like, you can basically just go, here's things that will look like they could be cool. So I think we could do, actually I might do this real quick. I think I'll create a channel in the Discord specifically for Wulin lore sheets. Lore sheets and deeds. If we want to take some time so we don't have to feel like it's in the last 15 minutes we have to narrow it down. So I'll just put it directly underneath. So we can also put, like, if someone's got some stuff that they can spend for someone, they can put down, like, since I gave you a deed, I've got, like, 3 for Lone Sparrow can be sent if you just want to throw it into a pool. We can also look at things in the book that you think would be interesting. You can kind of make notes of.
Cool. I'm gonna get me some of that double deflecting blade.
So you said you got 8 points. Jesus Christ.
You can learn some double deflecting blade too. It's good stuff.
And then we gotta give something to Pale Orchid.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's kind of showing loyalty to kind of like turn away the patron, but not forget about the scholar and friend.
To me, that read more honor, I guess. Like, I think the way to describe loyalty felt very much like organizational or like social like group loyalty. It read to me, but I mean that definitely applies still. I don't know if we have to be that picky with it.
Huh? Your pick.
No, it's your pick actually, because I picked for you.
Yeah. Let's split the difference and call it benevolence.
Yeah, you were nice to the very awkward scholar. And like, are you a bad person? Like, no.
Am I a bad person? Looks up with puppy eyes.
Oh my god. Yeah, you were trying to befriend this very awkward scholar, and you seem to actually be doing it not just to learn more about the sword. Sure, let's call it benevolence.
Don't worry, I'll kill
Turning
you.
over a new leaf.
So now you've got 7 entanglement. Ooh.
So you have 8, I have 7.
Oh, we could buy members of the 7 Heavenly Blades take an interest in Pale Orchid or the sword.
Jesus Christ.
But I don't know if we're ready for something like that strong to pop off.
we have to like make just a little more before we get the actual Heavenly Blades involved.
The people who defeated my uncle, they're here now.
Yeah, I think, what is the, let me find the page number real quick on the lore sheets. Because we can come up with, the big thing is not feeling like we're stuck on that list.
Oh yeah!
Things I put together from what you had. Page 31 in the book, yeah, basically kind of drives down a real quick, it's technically on 32. Which, like, trivial bonuses, story opportunities, minor bonuses, story opportunities, major bonus, like, yeah, like, usually between 0 and 6. So you can come up with something on the fly, or sometimes just kind of wait a little bit, look through, like, if you just sort of scroll through some stuff on the, like, the box stuff and go, oh, this is from your sect or from stuff with other things in there. So I would kind of recommend just checking through, because you'll find some interesting stuff in there that you may decide, oh, let's buy this stuff in or create something from out of the blue.
Yeah, totally.
I want a situation where we all have to flirt ourselves out. That's the only way. There's no fighting.
You thought you were getting Crutch and
Dragon?
We're getting just a dating sim.
Looks like we're gonna have to have a flirt off.
Oh my god, Mexican flirt off.
Sparrow just loses.
Yeah! Yeah, that's the best part.
But it doesn't affect him in any manner because he's like bulletproof in this scenario.
God.
Do you know what?
Actually, we're not far from a situation like that.
Do you know what would be an interesting thing to bring into the city? This, like,
on a sword storyline.
Yes.
One of the Blade Devils. Or Blade Dogs.
Fuck, yeah. Yeah, what's his name? Something Bastard?
Sword bastard.
No,
Bastard.
that's something different. Sword
Okay.
Bastard, none of us can fight. Sword Bastard.
But isn't
Good
he leader of the dogs?
I'm thinking there's a difference between the Blade Dogs and the Blade Devils. One of the
Oh, yeah, I
Are
think
the
the
Blade
Dogs.
Devils the people who make swords?
Blade Devils are the people who make the swords and can read and awaken a sword's history.
Cool. That would be a good way for I discover someone who can like tell me more about the sword, and it's fucking a Blade Devil. That'd be interesting.
What if the scholar turns out to be a blade devil?
They've been playing me this entire fucking time.
Well, I've got to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
if you want to
Wait,
ideas for
yeah,
live stuff,
yeah.
make a note in the Discord.
Yeah, that sounds good.
They whip off their glasses and say, "I fooled you this entire time."
Yeah. All right. Or just that they're like retired.
Yes.
Maybe.
I used to be one. Okay, well, I'll.
It's like
I'll-
she. Yeah. See.
No worries.
Like she's just so pure. I don't want her